So I already have my basic how to use SimCraft, and I touched on this a little bit in that video, but I keep getting asked, how do I see what trinkets are best for me, what's best in my bags, and what's something that I should be using that I'm not. Trinkets are funny because you have to use a sim to figure out, is it better. You can't use an add-on like Pawn. So I'm going to go over how to do a trinket ranking so you can get an idea of what's best, and then how to sim trinkets together so you can get a better idea of what combinations of trinkets are better. See, sometimes trinkets will interact with each other, sometimes they won't. So I'm going to get into that, and first thing we're going to do, I'm going to do an armory import because I don't have the game running right now. Just going to do a quick armory import. Part of the reason I want to do it this way is so that I can show you how to look up a trinket that you don't actually have. Right, so first things first, this is the imported SimCraft from Armory. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to come up here, so my character's name is, I'm going to put control. You can put control, no trinket, whatever. This is going to be the basic sim without any trinkets. And we're going to come down here and we're going to remove the trinkets. Okay, and then we're going to paste it down here again. I'm going to change this trinket 2 to a trinket 1, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, first things first. We're going to type in copy equals, and I'm going to do unstable arcano crystal. And the item level for this one is 860. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm going to do a copy again, and this one's going to be faulty countermeasure. Oh, don't forget your parentheses. And this is an 840. Make sure we space this out just keep it all nice and pretty. Okay, and you're going to keep doing this. So we're going to do copy equals faulty countermeasure, and I'm going to try an 850, but obviously I don't have the 850 version of the trinket, so here's what I'm going to have to do. Alright, I'm going to copy this information over, and I'm going to go load up my web browser so I can show you how to find what the information is for the 850 version of that trinket. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done a search here on Wowhead to find the trinket that we want to look at. But see, this is the 805 version. This is the same item number, so it's the 137539. Still the same item number, okay? 137539. But what we need to do is we need to get the bonus information. So we're going to go down here and we're going to find, let's do a Mythic +4, that's item level 850. Okay, if you look up here, this is the new bonus information. It's 1502:3412. If we take this and we copy that and go over here to SimCraft, and here in the bonus ID stuff, we're going to paste that in here, and then take the semicolon, or the colon rather, and just put a slash. Okay, and we can do this. I'm going to look up a shock baton next, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've pulled the information up for an 840 shock baton. That's the one that's baseline with the world quests. Now, I don't believe this is a trinket that's even applicable to Ret. It's not one that pops up for me when I go to do it. But just to show the process of how to get the information for a trinket, what we're going to do is we're going to look up here and we're going to get the item number. Okay, so it's 140030. We're going to go back over here to SimCraft. Alright, we're going to take one of these lines that we've already done, just so we have the formatting of it. We're going to copy it, we're going to paste it, rename this double sword shock baton 840, and then we're going to change the name here. This isn't actually important, but you can do it. It makes it easier when you're reading these things. Now we need the item ID, so we're going to go back to the item, and item ID is 140030. We're going to go back to SimCraft, paste that in there, And then we're going to go back here. We're going to get the bonus IDs. We're going to copy those. We're going to replace what's here. And the slash. And then I'm going to copy this one more time. We're going to call this 850. And now we're going to go back over here. Going to get what the item level, what it would be for an 850 right here. So now we need these two bonus IDs. Come on back over here. Paste that in there. Slash. Okay. So now you can see what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and run the sim, and I'm going to show you what the results are. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've let that run. What we have here is now a listing of what trinkets would be best. Now keep in mind this is only one trinket at a time. Okay, so some trinkets interact with each other, some don't. The unstable Arcano Crystal, for example, is going to be buffing my haste, right? So if I use that in conjunction with something like a faulty countermeasure, which is going to be hitting more frequently with haste, that's going to be a good combination because it's based off of the chance when you swing your weapon to do frost damage. So just keep that in mind. You're going to need to simulate the top trinkets that you have together to see what the best combination is. But what we have here is the Unstable Arcano Crystal. By far is my best trinket. It has the biggest difference over what the control is here. The Faulty Countermeasure at 850 would be nice. It's really only about a 1700 DPS increase over the other one, which I calculated out just using a percent change formula. It was about 0.45% DPS increase, which isn't much, but it's something. I mean, it'd be nice to have an 850 or possibly an even higher item level version of it, but it's not a huge difference. Devil Sword Shock Baton. Again, I don't think Ret Paladins can even get that trinket. What shows up for me is like an impact baton or something, or impact tremor. It's not something that I can get, but if I was able to, I can tell that it's really not an increase. As a matter of fact, it'd be bad to have that over Faulty Countermeasure. You can do this, and using the techniques that I showed you of how to find the trinkets and how to find the bonus IDs, some things for the raid. So if you wanted to look at all the different trinkets that drop in Emerald Nightmare, all the different trinkets that drop in Emerald Nightmare, you can have a listing for that, and you can see, well, this is an upgrade for me, this isn't, the dungeon trinket's better, this 820 trinket's better. Faulty Countermeasure is funny. If you have an 825 version of it, you don't have anything better for Retribution, it's still better than most trinkets out there because of the way that it scales with Crusade. That's the other thing you need to keep in mind, is that some trinkets will scale with certain abilities that you have. Crusade increases all my damage. At max stacks is 52.5% damage. The damage that Faulty Countermeasure does is increased by that. So, on top of the fact that I have an extra amount of haste. Keeping that in mind and thinking about how Pawn works, you can see why trinkets don't work in Pawn, other than a stat stick trinket. So if I had a strength and mastery trinket, or a strength and haste trinket, then I could use Pawn. But the second that a trinket has an on use or an on equip, some kind of effect, you're going to have to run it through here. And once you have your list, you're going to want to go back to your simulation options, and you're going to want to, alright, you're going to want to combine some trinkets. So we're going to take this one, and we're going to paste it back here. And we're going to rename this 860 plus Faulty Countermeasure 840. Okay, and you would do this, and you rename that obviously Trinket 2. And you would do this for all the other combinations. You'd run the sim again, and when you do that, instead of just hitting these, you're going to have USAC 860 plus FCM 840, and it's going to be that. And you'll run the different pairs of trinkets that you think will work best, and you'll see what's the best. And that's how you do that. That's how trinket rankings work in a nutshell. Thanks.
Wow!